afternoon. Thanks for watching Studio 5. All right, you shuttle them from one activity to the next. You push them to practice and encourage them to enjoy new experiences. It's what parents today do to help teens figure out what they love and who they want to be. But will all that time and effort really pay off? Well, we asked a panel of teenagers for their perspective, hoping to provide parents with a takeaway or two on how to nurture your teen's talents.
Sierra Pogue.
Tyler Herschel.
Marin Ward. I love to play volleyball. I do musical theater and mountain biking.
I am a 4.0 average student and I am a musician.
My parents pushed me to try a bunch of different activities and different sports, and then they let me decide on my own which ones were my favorite. They would always help me to find something else that I like to do because I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet.
When I was little, they always encouraged me to play the piano or do whatever, just trying to help me discover what clicks for me.
They would drive me to all of my different activities that I tried to do throughout the years, and they were very patient and supportive of whatever I wanted to try.
They've given me very free reign. They've let me make my own decisions and I've stood by my decision.
They gave me support when I needed it and let me be and stand on my own when I didn't need their help.
They were very positive and encouraging and wanted me to find a way to fix my mistakes.
When I don't win the races, they always help me. They still love me and they still support me. They always had a hug or encouraging words when I wasn't doing well.
You can tell they're bright, savvy, good kids, and we appreciate their honest insight from those teens to get parents to see maybe a new viewpoint and to kickstart a conversation on how to help your own teen find their talents and passions. Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend is joining me with advice for parents. What stood out the most is this idea of parents kind of being there, supporting these kids, but then letting go and allowing them to live their life.
And isn't that the scariest thing? Because what if that little seed doesn't grow?
What if?
What if they just don't show all those talents that you know that they have? So one of the keys to parenting is to actually remember where the power to grow takes place. It's not in you. You don't bring the power. They are seeds. So it's a gardener metaphor is what we're going to be using here. When you're parenting and trying to nurture talents, you got to understand the talents aren't yours to nurture. They're the child's. The talent is the power that's already in the seed. You're the gardener. All you can do is make sure the seeds have optimal chance to grow. So trust that your seed will grow. Isn't that, it's kind of symbolic.
It takes that faith. Generally speaking, though, do you find parents are over-involved? Are they too involved?
And think about that. If you don't trust your seed's going to grow, you're going to over-water it, you're going to over-nurture it, you'll probably put way too much manure on it. You're going to stand over it, you're going to test it, you're going to lift it up and check the roots. But if you keep disturbing the seed, you may keep actually restarting the seed. You might keep creating more problems for it. So to some degree, you just have to trust that they get their power. And if they don't understand it when they're 14, they might get it when they're 16, they might get it when they're 20. And if not, they'll probably die without any power.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen.
It's sad, but true.
How important is it? I mean, I'll go with your seed metaphor here. Not all two seeds are created equal. No. Every seed's going to be different. How important is it to really know your child and who they are?
Well, how do you create conditions unless you know what kind of seed it is? So you need to deeply understand what kind of seed we're planting here. I have a child that, like, literally waking him up, you can't go in and just start demanding. Because he's a hearer. He's a very sensitive hearer. He plays piano by ear, so that's his forte. So instead what I do, I did it today. You go in and instead of like immediately nagging, you just turn on music. And literally within about 20 seconds of that music going on, in his bed he starts beating out a rhythm. So I'm like, okay, my son does better when we don't talk about it, but when we just start creating motivation and opportunity. So you got to know the seeds. Some kids are quieter. Some need to see how you do it. Some need to hear it. Some need to constantly be fed how great they are. Some don't believe when you say it, but they want you to participate with them and be by their side to do it, and they feel more confident.
How do you know that? What if you're that parent saying, gosh, I have studied this seed. I have tried to figure out this kid for years, and here he is at 13 years old, and I'm still not sure how to get to him?
The answer is always in them. Okay, so if they complain a lot about how you nag, then nagging's not working. Nagging's how you approach them. So I would just listen to them.
Complain about nagging?
But they might complain more about what you demand, or maybe more about what you know, how you make their room have to be clean. Why is it about the cleanliness of my room, some kids might say, when really it's just I'm a clean person or whatever. I guess in the end, the way you know who they are is you listen and you notice. Do they tend to do better? And notice what works. So when you do something with them, make it really truly identify what just worked with that child in that moment. Something's working. And if we start shoring up and identifying everything that's good that works, you now have a tool set to work with that child. They'll usually tell you by the time they're 16 what doesn't work. The answer, though, is not, it's not in you to figure out, per se. It's in them. So just pay more attention to what they're doing. Notice how their friends get them to do stuff. Notice what happens. Something is different that is going to always show you how to motivate another person, and it's not in you. It's in them.
Interesting.
You got to pay attention.
How can you create a home atmosphere that supports these talents or even nurtures along these skills and these interests?
You know, when you think about it, it's the home of all the places to kind of do this. The home should be the safest place on earth. So we should probably be literally trying to figure out a way to create a space for them to do it, a time for them to do it, a way for them to do it. The conditions have to be right for them, right? And then love is the key. This is a weird concept, but heaven forbid, we sometimes love the outcomes or the fruits that come out of the seed way more than we actually show love for the seed. So when you're trying to create conditions in your family, make sure you're not just focusing on the outcome. Hey, great job winning the volleyball game. Great job getting the 4-0.
It's so easy to do that. It's so easy just to praise the success or the trophies, if you will, that are coming home.
The number one key will always be to validate the seed and validate the principles that they're showing. For example, if I see somebody that works hard, I would validate hard work, not 4-0s. 4-0s would be the great fruit that we can all enjoy, but hard work is the principle that's already in the seed. I would validate the sacrifice. I wouldn't validate, you know, the new song that they put out.
I'm thinking of that viral clip. I don't know where the family was from. I think they were maybe from Canada or the UK, but the dad that when his son finally got a C in math just broke down bawling, and that was over a C. I mean, for that individual seed, that individual kid, that was accomplishment.
Isn't that
he knew
amazing?
He worked hard.
It is. See, and then we, instead of, even the C is great, but you don't want your child to just think what they are is their body or their hair or their mind or winning the pageant. You want them to know that it's about what's in the seed. So you keep nurturing the power in that little seed. And here's what's funny. It's slow. See, the crazy thing about the gardener metaphor is you don't quite know if it's going to work till it's working. And then when it's working, you still don't know how it's going to finally turn out. So this takes time, but you got to have confidence in your ability and in the seed. If you don't, you'll start doing things like overcorrecting, overmanaging, using sarcasm, manipulation to get something out of the seed.
Good stuff. I think you just armed parents with a lot of confidence.
You're armed with seeds.
So that's good. Hey, we are partnering up with you for this great date night coming up. We're so excited.
This is going to be the blast. November 9th, 7 p.m., Eisenhower Junior High. Date nights with Matt. This is called the 4 Spirits. We're going to teach you not a ton of skills per se. There are skills in there. We're going to show you that if you could just accomplish 4 spirits when communicating. 4 ways of feeling with somebody, like a spirit of inviting instead of interrogating.
Love it.
You know, a spirit of being caring instead of coercive. We're going to show you these spirits, and then we're going to give you a chance to practice, and it'll set you up for a good holiday.
You saw that Studio 5 coupon code. Use it. Your people asked me to introduce you, so you better be nice to me from now on.
No, this will be great.
I get to introduce you at that event. We're excited.
Great spirit.
We'll see you there. All right, coming up next, the old-fashioned ghost sucker gets a makeover. The new and better way to create that classic Halloween treat. Next on Studio 5.